Gentlemen, if you've been taking olive oil every day, believing you're already doing everything right for your health, I want you to listen very carefully, because there's a strong chance you're only getting part of the benefit. Olive oil is powerful, there's no question about that, but used alone, it often works far below its true potential. And there's one simple reason why. There is a missing piece, something most men already have sitting quietly in their kitchen that completely changes how olive oil behaves inside your body, especially after 50. As men age, the biggest threat to strength, energy, and confidence is not testosterone alone, it's circulation. Blood flow is the foundation of male health. Energy depends on it. Mental clarity depends on it, and performance in every sense of the word depends on it. Yet blood flow doesn't fail dramatically, it fades slowly. Year after year, blood vessels lose flexibility. The inner lining of the arteries becomes less responsive, and the signal that tells vessels to relax and open, nitric oxide, weakens. Most men don't notice this happening until they do. Cold hands, cold feet at night, heavy legs, shorter stamina, and eventually erections that don't feel the way they used to. Not because desire is gone, but because blood isn't arriving with the same force and consistency. Here's something very important most men are never told. The blood vessels supplying the penis are among the smallest in the entire body. That means even a small amount of stiffness or buildup can dramatically reduce blood flow. This is why erection problems often appear years before more serious cardiovascular issues. The body whispers before it screams. But here's the good news. Blood vessels are not dead pipes, they are living tissue. And when you support them correctly, they can respond, even later in life. This is where olive oil becomes so important. Extra virgin olive oil has been studied for decades for its effects on heart and vascular health. Men who consume olive oil regularly, particularly in Mediterranean cultures, tend to maintain better circulation well into old age. Olive oil helps reduce inflammation inside blood vessels. It supports healthier cholesterol balance, and it protects the delicate endothelial cells that control how well arteries expand and contract. But here's the part most men never hear. The most powerful compounds in olive oil are fat-soluble. That means they are absorbed and used by your body differently than water-soluble nutrients. And their effectiveness depends heavily on what environment they enter your system in. This is where vinegar quietly changes everything. Apple cider vinegar in particular has unique properties that complement olive oil in a way most men would never expect. Vinegar supports blood sugar regulation. It improves insulin sensitivity, and it helps prevent the spikes that slowly damage blood vessels over time. High blood sugar is one of the fastest ways to stiffen arteries. It damages the lining of blood vessels through a process that slowly reduces flexibility and responsiveness. Vinegar helps blunt that damage. But the real power comes when these two are combined. When olive oil and vinegar are taken together, they don't just stack benefits, they amplify each other. The acidic environment created by vinegar improves the absorption and activity of olive oil's beneficial compounds. At the same time, both substances support endothelial function, the health of the cells that line your blood vessels, and regulate nitric oxide. When nitric oxide signaling improves, blood vessels relax more easily. When blood vessels relax, circulation improves everywhere, not just to the heart, not just to the legs, but to the areas that define male confidence. This is why men often describe the effects as quiet but powerful. Nothing feels forced, nothing feels artificial. It feels like the body remembering how to work. Now let's talk about how men traditionally use this combination. This is not a modern invention. Variations of olive oil and vinegar have been used in Mediterranean cultures for generations. The preparation is simple, but quality matters. You want extra virgin olive oil, cold-pressed if possible, stored in dark glass. Fresh matters more than most people realize. Old olive oil loses a significant portion of its beneficial compounds. For vinegar, use raw, unfiltered apple cider vinegar, the kind that still contains the cloudy mother. That cloudiness is a sign the vinegar hasn't been overly processed. The basic ratio is straightforward. 3 tablespoons of olive oil, 1 tablespoon of apple cider vinegar. You can mix them together and take them directly, or dilute them in a small amount of warm water. Some men add a tiny pinch of sea salt to help the mixture emulsify and taste smoother. Timing matters less than consistency, but here's what many men find works best. Taking the mixture in the morning on an empty stomach allows the compounds to be absorbed efficiently. Others prefer taking it shortly before their largest meal of the day, where the vinegar helps regulate blood sugar, and the olive oil supports satiety and metabolic balance. Both approaches are effective. What matters most is doing it daily. In the first couple of weeks, many men notice subtle changes. Digestion improves, energy feels steadier. The sharp crashes that used to hit late morning or afternoon begin to soften. Within 1 to 2 months, circulation often begins to feel different. Legs feel lighter, hands and feet feel warmer, walking feels easier. These are signs blood vessels are responding. Over longer periods, 3 months and beyond, men often notice deeper changes. Blood pressure may improve, endurance increases, and performance becomes more reliable and consistent. Not because of stimulation, but because blood flow is improving at a foundational level. This is important to understand. This combination does not act like a pill. It doesn't override the system. It supports the system. That's why results feel natural. For men who have carried years or decades of vascular stress, this process takes time. But meaningful improvement is possible, even in the 60s, 70s, and beyond. This is not a quick fix. It's a daily message to your body. A message that says circulation matters, blood flow matters, strength still matters. Use this approach consistently for at least 8 to 12 weeks. Pay attention to how your body responds. Energy, warmth, stamina. Those are your signals. If this gave you a new way to think about blood flow and male health, like the video, subscribe to Healthhub, and leave a comment below. This is Dr. Thomas Carter. Stay patient, stay consistent, and keep supporting your body. It still knows how to respond.